Your home page is the most important page on your website. Think of it as your welcome mat at your front door of your home. If you have a great message on that doormat and it just welcomes everyone and it's the coolest doormat of anyone in the neighborhood, the one that makes your guest feel like they have arrived at the right place and they can't wait to get in your front door, that's the sort of welcome you want. If your homepage of your website is appealing, visitors are going to want to stay longer and they're going to want to learn more about you and your photography. So use a visual which could be one of your best photographs or a video that is appealing. We have just discussed that a video could be an introduction of yourself, your style, your photographs, and even your service. How are you going to benefit the potential client? Why should they work with you? Now, viewers like to see the person behind a website. They want to know that there's a living, breathing, real person on the other side of the internet, and they want to know that you're involved in this process. From your video, they're going to know immediately whether you're someone that they can work with. So you want to turn up the charm, but you also want to be genuine. Also on your homepage, include a simple tagline. Now, this tagline could be 3 to 5 words that sums up your photography, your service, or how you can benefit the viewer. Be as descriptive as possible using only 3 to 5 words. Now, I know that's a challenge, total challenge, right? We could write an entire paragraph about our photography, our process, why someone should work with us, and the benefits of our service and why you're better than any other photographer in the field. So let's say that you're a wedding photographer. You might say something like capturing your cherished moments, or this is where your life begins. Give this some thought. I know that you can give a better example than the one that I just gave. I'm not a wedding photographer at all, so I'm just pulling what I said right out of thin air. But remember that paragraph that we could write, pare it down to 3 to 5 words. People just don't want to read a novel when they arrive. They're not going to. And if they run into that, it's like a roadblock, and they're just going to stop, and they're going to turn around, and they're going to leave. So capture their attention immediately and let it keep flowing. Here is an example of the homepage of my blog, which is called The Gentleman Wayfarer. I used to have a portfolio website with all of my, not all of my, but some of my photographs, and I've made that go away because I've decided to go a different direction with the way that I license my images. And it's a total experiment, so I can't really share that with you. I could share it with you, but until I know it works, I don't want to. I don't want to lead you astray. So on this blog homepage of mine, I have a short tagline, which is 1,000,000 miles from ordinary, which sort of says that I travel, and what you're going to find in this website is not like every other website, or at least I hope it's not. And it's evolving, I can tell you that as well. I have all these ideas that just float in and out of my head that confuse me. And one day it will all come together. So what is the benefit for someone who arrives to this website? Well, what I really want with my travel blog is to inspire people to travel. I want people to get up off their sofa. I want people to get away from their television, and I want people to put down their smartphone for 5 minutes and walk out the door and explore their neighborhood, their city, or even leave the country. If I can do that with one person, then I think I've had a success. So anyway, long story, but I say inspiring travel, lifestyle, and photography of a well-traveled soul. So what and who am I? I am the official, or this homepage and website is the official Gentleman travel blog and travel videos of world traveler, international travel photographer, and author Mark Paldo. So with that, you can see that I've kept this very simple. I've used few words to capture someone, and I've also included just a few photographs. Now, these photographs change periodically, so if you return to my website, you will see something different each and every time, or at least I hope it works. I think it does. I also include some easy links. If someone wants to read about adventure travel or travel experiences, they'll go to the Adventure Travel blog. There is Shop Art Photography, which unfortunately goes to an entirely different website. I could not do what I wanted to be able to incorporate it into this blog site, so I had to go outside and use a different platform. And then I also have the Travel London blog, which goes to the London blog, which is all within the Gentleman Wayfarer. I also have links to the photography books, creative learning classes, which actually goes nowhere at the moment, and travel destinations. Now, all very simple. If someone goes to my homepage, they can easily find something that interests them or does not interest them, and they can click further. And what I've found with this is that using Google Analytics is that it has really been very effective, and so I'm going to stick with this formula at the moment. And something also that is very interesting to me, I don't know a whole lot about SEO. I know enough to get me ranked on pages. And this particular site went live toward the end of March. I want to say March 25th or so, give or take. I don't really remember, of 2017. And here we are at the end of May. And in that very short time period, this blog website has not only shown up in Google searches, but has raced to the top of page 2. And normally it takes quite a while to get a website in the rankings and near page 1 or on page 1. It takes a while. It takes a lot of work. And somehow I've done something right that gets me onto page 2. And of course now I want to go on and get to page 1, don't I? So if and when you make your own website, be sure to pay attention to SEO, using descriptions, and also using keywords. Keywords seem to be less important these days from what I hear. But if you do it right, you can jump over a whole lot of other people and a whole lot of other photographers to get to the higher pages. Now, how important is that? Well, it is important if someone is doing a Google search, right? If they're not, then what do you do? And we will talk about that later. I'm not sold on the whole idea that, oh my God, you have to be number 1 on Google. And I'm certainly not sold on social media in advancing your photography career. And we'll talk about that later. But on your website, on your homepage, you want to use white space effectively. And white space, what is that? That's the empty spaces between your information, whether it's photographs or text. You don't want everything bunched so close together that it is confusing to the eye and even frustrating. White space, as I said, is the area on a website that separates the various parts on any web page. So don't put anything too close to each other and give your information space to be noticed. Too much text and information on your homepage can leave your visitors confused, and I say overwhelmed, but I probably really mean frustrated. If you reach a website that is, and you've seen them, I've seen them, you go and there's just this whole flood of information, whether it's words, photos, or video, or things flashing at you at the same time. You know, when I run into that, it's like running into a brick wall, and I hit the wall and I say, oh no, I don't think so. And I turn around and I leave. I close out the website and I go somewhere else. And that is your typical viewer. We're completely impatient these days. We don't give people a chance. So keep it clean and keep your homepage simple. Keep this in mind. Viewers spend fewer than 15 seconds. Take out your watch and look at 15 seconds. See how much time that is. So they spend less than 15 seconds when they arrive to your website. So you must make a quick impact and not overwhelm anyone. Or just like me and just like you, your visitor is going to immediately leave. What you want to do is include a first few sentences of your biography, but also include a link to your biography page or your bio page so the viewer can click to read more about you if they're interested. Now, there's no guarantee that they're interested, right? But some people will be. I always go read about people. Sometimes I am just compelled and I'm fascinated, and then I want to learn more about them. And sometimes I read and I think, oh, that's just so overinflated. And I roll my eyes at some of it. But be that as it may, you can see again here is a screenshot of the bottom of my homepage of the blog. And there is a partial biography. I think it's about a paragraph. Now, my bio, it really isn't that long. But just here it gives people enough information. If they're happy, they'll stop. If they want to know more, there is a link for them to go further. And maybe I should be changing my portfolio photo. I'm not quite sure yet, but it is what it is. So you also want a call to action. And this could be asking people to sign up for your mailing list. You definitely want to start a mailing list so you can send out notices about what you're doing. Maybe you're going to have a special on your photographs. Maybe you've taken the best photograph in the world and you want everyone to know. And you can ask your viewers to sign up for this newsletter or be on your mailing list. And you can see that on the lower right. Here's my call to action. Please join the mailing list. Very short and simple. Now, I also have an art website, and this is where people can go buy photos and have them printed for their home or whatever they want to do. Now, the company that provides this platform, it's a really cool platform and very, very complicated to set up. I've never been more frustrated in my life setting up a website. But anyway, this company, they swear by this pop-up Now, you have seen this on various websites that you visit, I'm sure. And this thing pops up, this box, it pops up, and it wants you to enter your name and your email and maybe some other information. Apparently, I don't know if it's just very popular or is it effective, and I don't know the answer to that. Personally, I find it irritating, and I will, if I'm at a website that does this, I close it, and that's the truth. So the verdict is out. If I see that it doesn't work and people bounce out of my website, I will make this go away. But anyway, here is the call to action pop-up, and the idea is give them an incentive, and that's to save 20%, blah, 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 on your first order for first-time new customers. And, of course, name, email, and then it goes on to the mailing list. I also have just below that, and it's in a shaded area, what is this page and the call to action? Well, it's very short and simple. I want people to shop, and I want them to buy art photographs. And what they have found, what we have found, is that if you just keep it short and sweet and say, shop art photographs, that is few words that tells the viewer what they should be doing on this site, and we hope that they do, right? If they love the photos are going to speak for themselves. They will stick around. If they're not, well, they'll leave. Isn't that the truth? So then there is the tagline in what is offered, and that is art photographs a million miles from ordinary. Again, I'm using that very same tagline, and high quality, affordable fine art prints, blah, 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 blah. So when a viewer reaches this, again, their brain does not have to process a novel. It's just very few short words. And they will decide if they stay or go. Now, you also, if you are a social media user, and I'm going to sound completely contradictory because, as you can see, I do have social media icons on my website. And there's SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest. And these will have direct links. So if someone clicks on it, it goes to my YouTube page or my Instagram page or whatever. And maybe viewers will want to follow you on these pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or the like. You can decide whether or not you include this. I know social media, we're told that we have to have it, and I strongly disagree, and this is where I contradict myself. Even though I disagree with it, I have a presence there, and strangely, I have a huge following. And for someone, and I'm not bragging about that, I find it curious, really, because I don't spend time on there. So why do people follow me? I have no idea. I think it's just rather strange. We will go into what I think about social media and whether or not it's beneficial to you in a future lesson. And it just might be a bit controversial because I'm going to disagree with what you probably have been told or believe. But we'll do that later. So you also do not want to forget to include 1 to 3 of your best images. If a viewer sees amazing photos on your homepage, like the best photos that they've ever seen of a particular scene, and your best photographs, they're more likely to investigate further and move on to your portfolio page, which we're going to discuss next. So you can see, again, which we've already talked about, the 3 photos at the top of my homepage, and then really it's a slideshow that goes across of various photos that relate to blog posts or future blog posts. So please note, don't make your homepage entirely about you. You don't want to say how wonderful you are and I love to take photographs. You don't want, like politicians. You hear politicians give a speech and 90 words are I, me, I, me. You don't want that on your website. But what you do want to do is tell the viewer how your photography or your service can benefit them. Why should they work with you? Why should they purchase your photographs? Remember to quickly communicate your message and do this concisely. Do it in few words. Use impactful words, but also use few words so you don't overwhelm or frustrate someone from the start. Well, if you do that, the conversation's over, right? Simply say how you can fulfill a client's needs. Make them want to stay longer. That is bad grammar. Make them want to stay and learn more. So this is all a tall order and a huge task for you. And it may even seem a bit overwhelming for you at first. If this is the first time that you're making a website, it's going to be even more difficult because it's going to be difficult to choose your best images and your best words. And when I say best words, I mean the fewest words that make the most impact. So take your time and put careful thought into creating your homepage. Remember, it's the welcome mat to your home, and your website is the home to your photographs. So let's go on to the portfolio pages.